Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kuli. Hope you guys are doing good. So today we'll be making a ruched sleeve. It's a two-piece, but the sleeve has a drawstring. You can call it drawstring or ruched. So I have 3 years of fabric here. It will be enough. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it, if I'm going to use it, but just have 2 years in case, 3 years in case of anything. So you just, you know how to do it. Start by folding your fabric into two. Then after folding you get your length. Her top length is 27. So I added extra 2 inches for the hemming allowance. So you just add your extra 2 inches for the hemming allowance, then you get the full length, measure it, get it. So I got my lines, I got my length, then I extended the lines. Please, sorry that the chalk is not really visible, but at least you are getting what I'm doing. So it's just the top length that I'm getting. I got the full length. I just calculated everything. That is 27 plus 2, that is 29. So that is it. Just get it from your starting line. From your starting, that is your shoulder line. Then you get your shoulder. Her shoulder is 8 divided by 2 is I'm sorry, her shoulder is 16 divided by 2 is 8. So you just measure your shoulder and get the line. I didn't really add any allowance. So from that shoulder line, that point that I stopped, I went down by 1 inch. That is for the shoulder slope. This to make your clothes to relax at the shoulder. So I got her chest line. Her bust is 39. So I use 8 inches for her chest line. So I used 8 inches for her chest line. Then measure her bust, then run her bust. That is 9.75. Please, let me say, I forgot that I was making a shirt. So it doesn't really matter. I was meant to cut out the front first, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to use this, because if it's the front, you are meant to add the zipper allowance. That is, sorry, that is the place you place your buttonhole allowance. So I got her waist, which is 16, which you don't really need your waist, because, but yeah, I made use of her waist, but not really that much. No, I didn't really use her waist measurement. So what I did was that I got her bust measurement. That is her bust measurement. Then added extra. This top is free, so just add extra 3 inches allowance if you want it to be free. Extra 3 to 4 inches allowance. So whatever you get, like after adding your bust is, let's say your bust is 40, you add 4 inches, extra 4 inches. That is, you have 40, that is 44. Then that is, you have like 14, you have 14. So just get that her 14, place it on your waist, remove one, that is, you have 13 on her waist. Then the down part, that is the hip part, then you still get your 14 at the hip parts. That was what I did. Then I did the armhole curve. Then the neck width, I used 2.5 for the neck width. The back neck depth, I used 1. Then the front neck depth, I also use 2.5, but you can use 3 inches. I always use 2.5, so that it doesn't come out too wide or too small. If it comes out not up to maybe 19 inches after measuring it, or 18, I can just still adjust it, maybe cut it out. So instead of you using a wide neck for a shirt, it will not come out good. So it's better you use 2.5, then 2.5, 2.53. Then you just connect your shoulder slope, and that is it. That is it for the front. The front, you just check your waist. Remember, if you have 14, that is 40 plus 4, that is 14. So that 14, you place it on your waist and remove only 1 inch. That is just to give it that little waist cuff. Don't use your waist measurement, it will not come out very well. So for the front, we are drafting the front. Like I said, that the front has this thing. The front has sorry, a buttonhole stand. So you just remove 2 inches for your buttonhole, as if you are doing removing an allowance for your zipper. That is the same way you would do it. Place it this way, remove your 2 inches for the buttonhole, and that is it. Then other places are just the same thing. Just do the neck. That's why I said it's better you use the front. Maybe cut out the front, then remove your 2 inches and cut out the back. But yeah, I made a mistake, and this is it. Just the neckline that you trace. You trace the front neckline. You measure it to be sure that yes, it's up to 2 inches, is up to 1.5 inches or so. Just between 1.5 to 2 inches. That is what I use. So just cut it out. Every other thing is the same. The side, the armhole, everything is just the same. That is what you would do, and that is it. For the look at, I had to trace the neckline, the front neckline, the back neckline is okay. So just after cutting it out, if you cut it out, that is the front armhole. The 1.5 inch that you will go in, that is the depth of the armhole, front armhole. So you just place it and cut out exactly the same thing. That is the neckline, the front neckline. Remember that I went down for the depth is 2.5. That is for the front neckline. So after that, you notch that your 2 inches, you notch the up, you notch the down, then slit it open. Slit the front open, and that is it for the front. You just do come in the front armhole, just go in by 1/2 inch, then curve the front armhole. I was just checking to see if it's equal, then make sure they are equal. The front is equal, they are aligned very well before you slit it open, so that you don't have one part being wider than the other part. And that is it for the back. That is join the neck, join the one part of the neck, then fold. That is the way you do fold your buttonhole. Now for the shorts, the way to cut the short, you still have to fold your fabric into two. You can use your hip to know the amount to fold. You can use your hip, then add extra 4 to 5 inches allowance. That is after cutting it. That is it. So you just get your starting line, the starting line where you start taking your measurements from. So you get your trouser length, that is your short length. Her short length is 17. Then that 17, you off your 2 inches for the band. You remove minus 2 inches for the band to get the 17. Then after getting the 17, here I added up to 2.5 inches for the hemming allowance. So sometimes if you don't add up to maybe 2 inches to 2.5, you will notice that after joining your short, you have some parts longer than the other part. Her total length as 20, so I'll just get then 20. I'll place it. I minus 2 for the band, so look at the 2. This is 20, then off 2 minus 2, and you get 20. So I'm just trying to get the line. Guys, sorry for the noise. It's coming from my neighbor. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. So here it is. Just minus 2 for the band, then you get your 20 inches. And length is then. So after getting your length, you still minus. You get the total length. Then you minus 2 again to get her main length. Her main length is 17. So you just mark that line. That 17 inches line. Mark that line. Off to get, but I'm still going to add from I've placed it, then I'll still get her real length. That is her 17. So I'll mark this 17 inches line. Here is 17, here is the allowance. So after that, I'll still minus it to get her hip location. This is a short, so I'm using, because she's tall, if I'll use 9 inches for her hip location because she's tall. But if you are not tall, you can use 8. You can measure it, but I don't normally measure it. Do it by height and your hip. So I'm using 9. If someone that is, so you can use 8.5 to 9. So to get her crouch, that is her hip measurement. Her hip is 44. That is divided by 4 is 11. I'll not add up to 1 inch. So I'm supposed to, if I'm adding 1 inch to the hip, I'm supposed to use 12. But here I'm using 11.75, or you can use 11.5. You can add 1/2 inch allowance. Here I'm using 11.75.
So 11.75 instead of 12. That is what I want to use. So from that place, you off 2 again to get her hip, which is 9. Then you still place minus the 2 and get her crouch. So after getting her crouch, from that her crouch line, you come down by 3 inches. That is where you take your thigh measurement. You can take it on your crouch, but I don't do that. So you just come down from that. From that your crouch now, you take your thigh, the place you place your thigh measurement, and that is this place. Just measure it out. Here is her hip line, here is her crouch line, and here is her thigh line. Just this way. Just this way. So that her hip, you just on her hip line, you take her hip measurement, your hip measurement. Her hip is 44 divided by 2, that is 11. So I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches allowance because this is a free shot. So this is it. I'll add 1.5 inches. So to get her, to know her crouch, the extension that you are going to use for her crouch, how long you want to, how long. So to get the perfect crouch extension, that her hip is 44 divided by 4 is 11. You still divide that 11 by 4. You place it this way. This is your starting. You place it on 11 this way. You fold it out this way. Just do it like this way. Then this is what you have. You have 5.25 if you divide by 2. Then you place it this way again on that 5.25. That is to divide it by 4. This is what I have. I have 2.75, almost 3, but it's not 3. 2.75, this line. So I'll just place it on that your 1.5 inches. You place it there. Then you mark that line. Extend it down to her crouch. You mark it on the hip, then extend it to her crouch. So from there, from that line, you 0.5. That's where. So after getting your hip, you put 1.5 for your allowance. Here is the 1.5. So you just take that 1.5 up to her waist. Take that 1.5 up to her waist. Then you take it down to her crouch. Then you do your extension. That is 2.75. That is your extension line. You make a slant curve. Please don't start curving it too much. Don't mind this line. It was a mistake. So you just from this place now, from here, you curve it slantly. You don't start curving it to be too curvy or perfect. Just from this hip, you give it a slant curve. So after that place that your crowd extension stops, so you place your tape to get your full measurement, the full measurement you have from here to here. Whatever you have from this starting point to here, to that place that you did your crouch extension, you measure it. I have 15 points something. Sorry. So you place it on that 3 inches that you came down with. You place it here. Then you divide, you place it here. Place your tape this way. That length that you have. Then you divide it by 2. Just fold it this way. You don't need to start dividing it. You place that 15 points, something that you have, any amount that you have. You place it this way. Then take your tape this way. Take it, fold it very well. This is it. Then make a mark. That is your center of your thighs. That is where you take. That is where you will take your thigh measurement. So her thigh is 27. Her thigh is 27. 27 divided by 2. This is the way I divide. And you should learn how to divide like this, or you calculate. So this is 27. This is where my tape is. I'll place it on the 27. Place it this way on the 27. Divide by 2. 27 divided by 2. I have 13.5 plus 1 inch. Plus 1, that is 14.5. After dividing 27 by 2, you have 13.5. You plus it 1 inch, you have 14.5. You plus 1 inch for the allowance. So you divide that 14.5 by 2 again this way. You divide that 14.5 by 2 again. You have 7.25. So on that line, that place that you divided it, that divided line, you place your 7.5 there, your 7.25 there. You make a notch here. You place this 7 now, this whatever you get, you place it on that middle of that place that you got. You place it this way. You mark here. Then you mark your 14.5 here. You place it this way. You place half of it this way. You mark here. Then you mark your 14.5 here, and that is it for this shot. So you take her hip measurement is her waist is 8. That is 32. But I said I'm not going to make it. I'm making it 33 for her waist. That is 8.25. That is 8.25. So because I'm going to add elastic, I don't really know her measurements, and I'm going to wiggle it. So it's better you just add. I'm going to add elastic to the back, not the front. The front will be okay. Then elastic to the back. So I'll get her waist. Then I'll add extra 2 inches allowance so that it can enter her hip. So when you are pulling it up, it can just fit in perfectly. Sorry, or just use 2.5. I'll add extra 2.5. So after joining it, I'll have 2 or 1.5. So this is it. You take your waist measure. If you are adding an elastic, you add extra 2 inches or 2.5. But if you are adding a zipper, you bring out your zip. Sorry, that is from the it's the back that you start bringing out the zipper. I'll show you how to do it. So I don't want this short to be too curvy at the waist. I'll just try to make it a bit curvy and a bit straight so that it doesn't have any puff. So I'm going to add a pocket. So this is it. You extend it to meet that size. After meeting it, you take it down to the 17. So instead of going straight, you just slant it like this. Don't go just straight like this. After folding it, this place you have a shortage of material here. So instead of there's not enough space here, that's why it's like so instead of going straight, you just make a slant line this way. You slant it this way. So you slant it this way, slant it this way. Here also from the crash, you bring it down to meet that the tie. You bring it down to 17. Then you slant it also. You slant it also. Don't just go straight, please. Don't go straight. Don't go straight. Just give it a little slant. Go this way. Go this way. Don't go straight and straight. So this way. And that is it. So this is the front, and the front is ready. The front is ready. The front is ready. I don't slant. I don't. Some people slant their front, but I don't slant it. I slant only the back. So just check if your measurement is okay. Then cut it out. If you want to fold it, you will not have this place. This place will not cover. It will not cover. It will be like this. So it will be like this. So that's why you have to slant it. So after folding it, you have allowance that will cover it. So we'll just place this one and cut out the back. Then cut the sleeve. And if you can manage because of the sleeve is big. So you just have to learn how to minimize the material. So the back, you have to fold extra allowance for the back because of the back crouch extension and the hip extension allowance that you're going to add. So you place it, make sure they are equal here. So you take the back, you just take one of the back, you place it this way so I have enough allowance. So I'll check to see if so from the back crouch, you come down by half, you place it like this.
You go down by half inch from the back crouch. You go down by half inch, then extend it by 1.5 to 2 inches. It mustn't be up to 2 inches. Then from the waist, you go in by 2 inches. Then you go up by 1.5 to 2 inches, it depends on the size of your body. If you're on the big part, you go in out or by 2 inches. Then that remember that you went in by 2 inches, so you still go out by 2 inches at the waist part, then the hip part 2 inches, the thigh part 1.5, then the hem part is the hemming part is 1 inch. Then you just connect the lines. The hip is 2 inches, the waist close to the hip part is 2 inches, then the thigh is 1.5, then the hemming part, the full length is 1 inch. So that is, you just draw your back crouch. Remember that you went in by 2 inches, so you just draw it. Don't make it to be too curvy, and that is it. Then you connect the line, then you connect it up to your thigh. Connect the back crouch to your thigh, and that is it. We are done with the the back part, and it's just this easy. And so you connect from that waist to that 1.5 inch that you went up with. Please, the waist must be equal, then up slantly equal. Then that is the way you just cut it out, and we are done with it. This is just very simple and easy. So to join it, you just join the front crouch together, join the back crouch together, and before joining both front and back That is the way you do it, and it will come out very, very nice. Just follow this method and you have a good result. Now to cut out the sleeve, you fold your fabric by length, just the length, the longest part of the sleeve, you fold it, make sure they are equal, then you fold it again into two. That is, I'm cutting the both sleeve together. You can cut separately if you don't know how to fold it this way, but it's easier to fold. So we are not cutting this like a normal shirt sleeve because of the straight the root part. So you just get the full length. Her full length is 25, then I added extra 2 inches, that is 27. So yes, so you just get it that way. The next thing you will do is to maybe measure out your sleeve. You measure around your armhole. So to know the exact amount to cut, you measure it around your armhole. Around armhole is 12. So you come down by 4 inches. You come down by 4 inches and make, not really, just follow the curve. This type of curve that I'm making, you just follow it. That is the part that we use. Then you measure any width you want. I used 15 inches wideness for this sleeve, but I noticed that it came out really too wide, so I had to reduce it to 11. So you don't just make that mistake, because this is not a best sleeve, it's just a normal straight sleeve. It's a straight sleeve with that drawstring. So don't make it to be this wide. Use yours should be 11 or 12. The wideness should be 11 or 12, because I went ahead to trim it. That is, I wasted material. So don't just make the same mistake. So get your 11 and trim it out, still the same pattern. So you just measure your armhole, give it a notch, and that is it for the sleeve. So you open it up. What you will do is that you just attach the upper part to the sleeve, then hem the down part. Then for the ruched part, you cut out a straight fabric that is maybe 2 inches wideness. 2 inches wideness, that is what you use to close the inner part. That is what you use to create the hole for the loop. Then for the one that you attach, that's the belt, that you still fold out, maybe you cut out 1 inch, double fold it and sew on top. So I'm making a place for the ruche where I'll place the fabric inside, but do this inside. You have to iron this before doing it. You have to get the middle of the sleeve. That is, after getting this middle of the sleeve, you cut out 2 inches wideness strip that you place inside, and that is what you use. So for the pocket part, the shirt has a pocket. You use the length is 12 inches, but this was not up to 12 inches, but I had to use it. But 12 inches, use 12 inches. The length is 12 inches, then the width, the wideness is 7 inches. That is, it's a standard for this pocket. So you just cut it out. You have to cut out you cut out 2 pockets. You have to cut this and fold two. That is 2 piece for both pockets. 2 piece. So you place it on top again and cut out exactly the same thing, but you make maybe from that edge, from that 7 inch edge width, you go up by 1 inch. You go up by 1 inch, then give it a slant curve. A slant curve, then cut it out, and that is it for the pocket. It's almost ready and we are almost done. The next thing to do after cutting out the pocket is to open up the sleeve. Not the So the straight part should face each other, like the right side facing the right side. You bring your short, that is the front, place the two, make sure they are equal. You can do this after joining the crowd. So you place it this way, the edge. So make sure the hip part is very close to this. So you go in by 2 inches, then you go down by 6.5 to 7 inches. So you just give it a curve, not, don't curve it too much so it doesn't look too curvy. Don't just curve it, just a slant curve this way. So that is it for the pockets. To place it, make sure they are equal, everything matches very well. So that is your short you have there. You place, you bring one part, you place, make sure it looks like the crowd. So you have to join your crowd, you don't make a mistake. After joining it, you top stitch it, then fold this way, bring out that 2 inches, make sure that you have that 2 inches, bring out that 2 inches, place it this way. Just watch, you place it this way, then you sew from that place. I think I have to make a separate video on how to attach your pocket, but this is long enough so I can't make it. So you just cut out the band that you will use. This is a straight band that I'm going to use. I don't have to curve the waist, but we'll still have to make a normal band on how to cut a normal band that will wrap your waist. So this is just a band for an elastic. So the is the back that will
attaching my sleeve. So the next thing to do is to, you just hem here, just hem it this way. That is the edge of the sleeve of the man. Then you open it up. I have to iron out the center. This is the center. This is the middle of the sleeve. Here is the middle. So for that draw stitch, but you string, you will come down by 7 because the sleeve started from down, not from this edge. So come down by 7 inches. Then leave your allowance for sewing. Maybe leave 1 inch allowance for hemming it. So you just, where you need to attach the string is 19.5. So from the middle of the sleeve, you place it like this. You use 2. So 2 divided by 1 is 1. Just divide 2 into 2. So you place, here is it, you place, so you divide it 1 1. 1 will go to this side, 1 will go to this side, other side. So you just place 1 at the middle of this line. Then you mark 1 here, mark 1 here. You do it throughout. You mark 1 there, mark 1 here, just like this. That's where you. So this, I'm doing it at the back of the dress. I'm doing it at the back of the dress, not the front. Because sorry, yeah, inside the dress, like the wrong side. That's where I'm placing this line. So after doing it, you now cut 2 yards of this material that you will use to cover it. This is not up to 2 yards, so I just have to cut a longer one. I'm just using it for the tutorial. So you just come here, stitch here, take it down, place it on that line, sew it down with a straight stitch, then stop here. Stop at the place that you marked, that 19 inches. So you just stop there, back stitch, then still do the same thing here. Then after doing that, you measure it is still 2. So this is still 2. You now still mark that 1 inch. You still divide it. You still divide here. After placing it, you still divide it by 2. After dividing it, then you sew with a straight line. Here you sew on it, on that line that you divided it on. You sew it with a straight line. That's where you pass. So after everything, that is where you pass your rope that will draw it. So you just bring 1 inch. You just cut out 1 inch, maybe up to 50 inches long or 45 inches long. So after doing it, you can decide to sew like this and turn it out, or you fold it like, if you want it to be really small, to come out small, just sew the 1 inch. Let's say this is 1 inch. You close it up this way and just sew on it like this. Then use your safety pin to draw it. Put it, go through this way, come down this way, and that's your drawstring. Now I'll just make it. I'll just do it and show you the outcome, like the one that I've done already. So after doing this one is ready. It's ready. It's ready. This is it. I draw it to look like that. So let me show you how I did it. So after joining it this way, look at that 2 inches and look at the line. So after sewing it on top, you divide it into 2. No, this is 2 inches, so you still divide it. You have 1. Mark 1. So this is 2, so you just mark 1. Then run it with a straight stitch. You now have 2 lines. So this is what you do. This is your rope. I think the length is, it's 39 inches length. That is the length of it. So you start putting it this way. Good. Don't close this place. Don't close it. So you pull it this way. Hold it up. hold it, just have like 2 inches to 3 inches there. So after putting it here, you still pass it out through the side again, bring it down. And here is your, is it ruffle? Is it ruffle? Is your drawstring. Here you have it. Then you draw it to any length that you want it to remove your safety pin. So this is it. This is it. This is it. Just tie it. And here is your shirt. I've created the buttonholes, then finished inserting the buttons. I will make a video on how to create a buttonhole with your sewing machine. I do my buttonhole with my sewing machine. I don't go out. Like I use my normal stress machine to create my buttonhole. So this is it. And the shorts is ready too. So I'll put it on the mannequin or wear it so that you see how it looks. It came out beautiful.